Okay, and greetings and welcome to another episode of The Visual Agent. My name is Philip Kaake. I'm with Compass Real Estate based here in Alameda, and what has been talked about a lot recently are virtual tours, and of course with the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic shelter-in-place order going on currently in my county, in Alameda County, and in many others. So non-essential workers are not allowed to go out and work, meaning photographers, videographers are not allowed to go to properties to shoot your listings. And so what this has done is put the responsibility on you to do photos and videos, and or possibly your clients to do photos and videos, or if you're representing a buyer, maybe to go to a property and shoot some video, some photos to show your clients if you don't feel like there's good enough images already representing the property, or maybe you've seen it. In any case, so now you as an agent have the responsibility to somehow convey this property to your clients. And I'm going to look at this from the point of view as a listing agent, because I shoot all of my own tours. I was a photographer before I was a real estate agent and a filmmaker, and I've spent a lot of time learning how to do this. And there's a lot of really good people already out there shooting it, a lot of other good companies, but because I had the skill and all the equipment, I've been doing it for myself. And so I can understand from an agent's point of view how this is, when it's time consuming and not having the right equipment. So how do you get this across? And of course, we all have a phone, and phones are really pretty good these days, but it's not necessarily the technological hurdles that'll keep you from doing this well or more skillfully, and it is really a matter of technique. And so I'm going to give you some best practices and tips on how you can shoot a virtual tour and have it look better. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me give you a quick opinion on things that are also being used: Zoom, FaceTime, Facebook Live. So in any of these situations where you have a live tour, or say people call you and they want to do a FaceTime tour of the property, certainly the advantage there is that somebody who's on the other end of the phone can say they'd like to see more of a particular portion of the home. This is my edit dog, Jaja, and I guess she's going to jump off now. So when you have a live situation, of course, that's dependent on you being there. But I think this is kind of silly in the sense that with the technology that we have today and the capabilities, why would you be put yourself in a position where you need to go there every single time somebody wants to see it? Now, if you could do, and I think this would be the thing to do, if you could do a very extensive tour of the home, you could post this to YouTube and it would be available for somebody whenever they need to see it. You can leave a link, you can send a link in an email, and now even our MLS is allowing you to have branded and unbranded links in the MLS. So it would probably be a longer tour that you would normally do, but I think that's okay because somebody can scroll through the parts that they're not interested in. But I think it would be a great idea, both from a tour perspective, from representing the property perspective, but also from a marketing perspective, because you can then have your YouTube channel, have all this branded content there. You can do a good description, keywords, tagging, and you can even get a little bit of SEO out of this. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but first I'm going to go over quickly some of the tools that we use, and I'm going to show you. This is not something you would probably go buy, but this is a professional gimbal and camera. This is what I use to shoot videos of properties, and this is what most professional photographers and videographers use to shoot videos of properties. Now, you can buy something like this for about less than $150 for your phone, and it basically functions the same way, and it is going to make a tremendous difference in the quality of the video, the smoothness, and basically what that translates in is that people will be able to see what you want them to see better, more clearly. Another idea that I thought about, and I've had one of these for a while, I use it when I go mountain biking, mostly mountain biking. And I have a little chest mount here, but this is a GoPro. This is a Hero 4, but even some of the later GoPros have fantastic in-body camera stabilization. But one of the advantages of the GoPro, they all have this wide function. If you've seen GoPro shots like on surfboards or where they show a lot of panoramic imagery behind somebody, wingsuit jumpers and things like this. Usually what people do is they set the GoPro on a wide mode. And so that works perfectly for interiors, with the exception is you get a lot of bending of door frames and corners and things like that. But you get a wider angle lens to show an interior, and that's generally what you need. I'm going to show an example of this as well. And then of course what we're going to do is basically start out with what everybody already owns, is their camera. And so I would recommend that you get a bracket for your phone, and at the minimum you get a little tripod like this, because you can hold this much more stable than you can by holding your phone. And let me give you a quick little illustration of that concept. Is that you can still hold your phone and do smooth pans and walking, but the tripod makes it a little bit easier. And so once again, one step up would be getting a gimbal for your phone where it puts the phone in. And the other thing it does is it keeps the phone level with the horizon line, and it smooths out that motion. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the phone without in the tripod, the phone with the tripod, the GoPro, the phone on this gimbal, which will just simulate, a less expensive gimbal, and then also my professional camera, and let you see some of the examples of the different imagery. All right, so let's get started. Of me walking down my hallway. We don't need to see my bathroom. Into my office. Get a glimpse of my office. And I'm trying to be very slow and deliberate. Into my office. Get a glimpse of my office. And I'm trying to be very slow and deliberate. All right, so this is the phone on a tripod with a bracket. There we go, walking into my office. All right, and this is the iPhone on a gimbal. All right, this is my GoPro on a gimbal. And one of the disadvantages to this is that I can't see exactly what I'm shooting, so I just have to aim it in the right direction, but you can see how smooth that is. Professional camera on a gimbal. So the basics of it are simple, is that you want to make slow, steady movements. It's kind of like if you're shooting a bow and arrow, hold your breath, breathe out. When old school photography is hold your breath, breathe out, and you click the shutter at the end of that breath. Only when you're shooting a video, it's not a single image, so you got to maintain that steady kind of feeling throughout a shot. And this gets very tricky with walking. This is where a gimbal comes in very handy. I think it is well worth your time and effort and money to buy something like this if you're going to do this even once or twice. And so this may not be the end-all be-all tour. I think that the professional photographer, videographer who's shooting the images and doing videos of property is more like a commercial for the property. They're a tour, yes, but I think in terms of the actual function of those videos, they're not a great actual tour of the home completely. I think they take sections, they try and make it look visually interesting. That's the idea, right? To give you kind of a sizzle reel of the home. But now what you want to do is go through and really document every aspect of that home, from one room to the next, how the insides interact with the outsides, and even the exteriors. Of course, if you have the ability to get a professional to do it, I would highly recommend that. But I think this is a way that you could do something not only to have as a link to send out to people, but also a pre-visualization. And then I'm going to talk about later how you can use it as even a marketing tool and how to get your SEO up in your YouTube channels. All right, so I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel so you can get all the great content, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.